Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay, this is Coloring Bliss, and I have something special here to show you. This is a set of beautiful color pencils by Ohuhu. What? Ohuhu is doing color pencils? This is exciting news. We love Ohuhu markers around here. I have them all laid out right here, right in front of me because I love the Ohuhu Honolulu markers so much. We've done so many videos on them, and I was so excited when Ohuhu reached out to me and said, would you like to check out our new color pencils? And of course I said yes, because wow, Ohuhu making color pencils, this is pretty exciting news. So what we're going to do today is an unboxing, swatching, and testing to give us our very first impressions of the Ohuhu Halawa oil-based color pencils. It's a 72 set. Cannot wait for you to see these pencils. Let's start with an unboxing. While you're watching me unbox the Halawa color pencils, let me read to you from their brochure. Features of the Halawa oil-based color pencils. They are light, fast, and waterproof, making them ideal for preserving artwork. These artist-grade pencils feature vibrant colors with high saturation. The pencils offer strong coverage with soft, smooth leads that last longer. Crafted from natural basswood, these pencils are safe, eco-friendly, and comfortable to hold. These are perfect for artists and painting enthusiasts, offering seamless blending and coloring. All right, now that you've heard a little bit about these pencils, you've seen me unbox them, let's have a very nice close look at the actual pencils. I'm going to grab this one right here. It says Halawa Ohuhu on it, right here in gold lettering. It's got a nice capped end with gold. It's a pretty pencil. It says it conforms to ASTM D4236. I'm going to read to you here in a minute what that means. And then it has a color name and number. Very important that they have both. We love that in a pencil. I wish that they weren't metallic print on the pencil. That's my, I think, only complaint about what I'm seeing here on this pencil. It feels good in the hand. I don't like metallic writing on my pencils. I prefer something matte and big and bold so it's easy to read. Now, as far as what this ASTM D4236 is, I looked it up, and it means it's a standard practice for labeling art materials for chronic health hazards. It's considered the gold standard for child art supply and safety, right there. So that's what that means. All right, next thing that I want to do is swatch these pencils. Now, it's pretty awesome that Ohuhu has included a swatch card for us here in the box, but I want to swatch them on my papers. Now, the reason I want to see them on my papers is because that's the kind of paper I'm going to be doing art with, and I want to see how they lay down and perform in specific situations. So I'm going to start rolling some footage now of the swatching. Now, as you're watching me swatch, you're going to see me swatch on white paper, tan paper, and black paper. I want to see these pencils in all three situations, especially where they're oil-based. This is going to tell me a lot about how I like the way they perform and in what situations I'm going to want to use these specific pencils. Now, if you're interested in swatch books, come and check out what we have at coloringbliss.com, because we make swatch books of all different varieties for all different situations, not just color pencils, but markers, gel pens, mixed media. We've got a swatch book for you, so come and check that out. All right, swatching is done. I've invited Steve, my business partner and husband, over to help with the next part.
Hello, everyone.
Well, he is so good at looking at a set of color pencils and kind of eyeing whether it's a good balanced set. Do we have enough yellows? Do we have enough tones? Do we have enough blues? That's what Steve's good at. So we're going to look at these together. Let's start by looking at the white. There's 2 pages here of colors. This is the first page here. This is the main, and then when you get to the second page, it's browns, some pastels, and some metallics. Oh, and grays as well. Oh, nice. So this is the main event right here as far as color balance. What's your first impression?
Let me just take a look here.
This is the first time he's seen these. I really like, some of these colors are just, like, I'm really drawn to that green right there right now. It would be fun to color with that green right there.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
And then you add on,
yeah,
we've got 6 grays right here, 6 really pretty pastel tones to kind of give us a light version of some of these other colors over here. Yeah. And then we've got some nice browns, a black, a white, and then 2 metallics. Let me move the metallics in the light and see if we think it has a shine or not. Oh, pretty impressive. Let's go this way with it. Sometimes this camera can catch the shine better on these two. Right now, I think the other camera was working better. Let's go back over here. Yeah, see, there's that shine on those two. So definitely 2 nice metallic pencils included. So
wow, for every, for only being a 72 set, that seems to be really well balanced.
Good.
You seem to have every color on the color wheel, plus those lighter ones, like you said, and some browns and grays. And
yeah.
Wow.
Now, typically with an oil-based pencil, I have found that they tend to be a little more translucent. Isn't that the right word?
Right.
I always get translucent and transparent mixed up. So I wanted to see them on brown and black paper. So if I want to color in those situations, are these the pencils to reach for or not? So here you can see side by side the same pencils, only now we're on tan paper here. I'm just trying to see. I think they look really pretty on the tan paper.
Yeah, they look nice.
I don't feel like any of them are like falling flat and not working well. Let's the grays are struggling. These are going to struggle because this is a mid-tone paper, and these colors here are going to have a hard time on that paper.
They're pretty though. Like, it's really subtle, but I love those. I love the subtle colors of the pastels and those few grays.
Yeah. And one reason I like seeing it on tan too is you get to see white and black, where on white paper you can't see the white, and on black paper you can't see the black. So it's nice to see them all on a mid-tone type paper. Okay, let's take a look now at black, because that's really where an oil-based pencil can struggle, is going onto a dark toned paper. So what do we think of it on black? That 91 looks really cool on black. Some of them are now struggling. Like, it's hard to tell the difference between those 2 colors and that color.
Wow.
But some of them are doing good.
I love them on black. I love the bit of that transparency of the black coming up through.
Oh, look at those browns on there.
Yeah. If you go back to some of those colors, like that 157 blue and that 91 that you said you liked, the violet and the blue, and the one right below it. I love that color.
That looks really pretty. This is Steve's color here. If
Yeah,
you were to
but
pick
even
a color.
those reds, wow, I really like them on black.
Let's take a peek. I think I marked one of my favorite sets of pencils. It's not an oil-based pencil, but is the Holbein on black. And I just wanted to kind of give you a comparison if you are like, well, I have no idea whether this looks good on black or not. I mean, Holbein is one of my favorite on black because they really stand up and you can see every color difference, every shade, every tint.
Yeah, those are amazing on
so
black.
They're not performing as well as the Holbein, but that makes sense. This is a wax-based, different product. And now we're over here with oil-based. And
do you happen to have the Polychromos on black?
I don't have those handy.
Because I think that would be
a closer comparison, because the Polychromos by Faber-Castell are an oil-based pencil. While we're here, let's talk oil-based versus wax-based. These are words thrown around in the industry, and usually it just refers to the recipe that they make. In every color pencil, you're going to have wax and oils and fillers and pigments and different ratios of those. So saying an oil-based pencil does not mean it doesn't have wax. It has wax in it. So it might have a little bit more wax than the Polychromos and maybe about less. I don't know. They felt, when I was swatching and working with them, they feel a lot like a Polychromo. They have that slick, buttery feeling as they go across the paper. I like to say a wax pencil feels more creamy and thick, where a oil-based pencil feels slick and buttery. So yeah, that's the kind of feeling and experience I had here. But I'm happy about them working well on all three papers, because that gives a lot of versatility of what we can do with these pencils moving forward in the future. Pretty cool. All right, the next thing I want to do is take these pencils through my 5-step testing worksheet. This is a worksheet that we've used for a lot of different brands of pencils. I'm going to put a link to a video we did where we tested, I can't remember how many brands. It was over 20, I think.
Yeah.
It was a lot of different brands off Amazon, and it was an awesome video where we came up with some recommendations of what cheap, budget-friendly color pencils we recommend you purchase in 2024 on Amazon. So I grabbed that same worksheet that I used for that video, and I printed it out. Well, actually, Steve printed it out for me on our beautiful color pencil paper, and we're going to run the tests now and see how they lay out, how do they blend, how do they work with odorless mineral spirits, all these questions we have. So let's roll the footage of me doing the tests. The first thing that I already did was fill out the top part of this sheet, and it's got information like core size, core content, the shape of the pencil, what kind of packaging, how many pencils in the set, all that good stuff is written at the top. Then step 1A and step 1B have to do with swatching. So we've already swatched them on white, tan, and black. And now on the little swatch card there, we're going to swatch some of the colors on black so we can see how they perform. And then I'm going to write down some notes of how I feel about the swatching experience. Step 2 is a 3-color blend, and for this I'm going to follow Jennifer's rule of blending thirds. If you struggle with blending color pencils, you need to check out the video that I'll have Steve link in the video description on how to do Jennifer's rule of blending thirds, because that will make you a pro at blending. Step 3 is a 2-color solvent blend. So on the left side into the center I colored with the blue pencil, and on the right side into the center I colored with the yellow, and then in the center of that rectangle I used some odorless mineral spirits to blend them together. And for this test I'm just looking to see if we get a beautiful green and how easily they respond to odorless mineral spirits as a solvent. Step 4 is all about crumbs and sharpening. So when you're coloring with a pencil, I want to know if it creates too many crumbs or if it's just an average amount of crumbs. And also I want to see how easily they sharpen. So on the left side, I'm going to do light pressure. In the center of the rectangle, medium pressure, and on the far right, heavy pressure. And let's see how the crumbs and sharpening work. Step 5 is all about layering. How many layers can these pencils lay down? So I'm going to sit here with my violet pencil and we'll see how far along this rectangle bar I can get. Now I've added a bonus step at the bottom of this worksheet. I'm calling it the water solubility test, because in the literature for the Halawa color pencils they talk about them not being water soluble, and I wanted to test that. So we'll do that on the bottom of this worksheet. Okay, let's walk through this worksheet and see how we did. So one thing that we need to talk about is it's a 4mm core.
Oh, nice.
That's a bigger core than the Prismacolors, which have a 3.8mm core. So it's a nice thick pencil, feels good in the hand, and it's going to last a long time because of that thick core. And that's how I felt. Even when I did this layering test down here, I felt like it was very slow at wearing down the tip of the pencil. So that means we can get a lot of coloring done before needing to sharpen. Okay, so legibility on the pencil, the writing is decent. They're made in Vietnam, and they included a swatch card. Okay, so we kind of knew all that. We already looked over the swatches on the white, tan, and black paper, and here is some more of those swatches there just to remind us and to fill out the worksheet. What I wrote down for my swatching notes is that I felt like there were more crumbs than expected for an oil-based color pencil. Usually with a wax base, you kind of expect some crumbs to come off, but there were more crumbs than I liked for an oil-based pencil. Was it an outrageous amount of crumbs that kind of made these terrible pencils? No, but you need to know that there were more crumbs. Now, to get rid of your crumbs off your work surface, I recommend this right here. This is a blush brush that you pick up in the makeup aisle. I think it was like 99 cents for this cheap blush brush, and I've been using this for years. And the reason I recommend a blush brush is because it kind of picks up the crumbs rather than pushing them around, so you can clean off your surface and the crumbs go into the brush rather than streaking across your page and making a mess. So for these pencils, I highly recommend you have some sort of brush to manage the crumbs. I felt like they were best on white, that the colors look best on white, and I liked that they included 2 metallics, 6 grays, and 6 pastels. I think that's really cool. Steve really liked them on black, huh?
Yeah.
The way they look on black. Okay, number 2 up here, color blend. Let me bring it up so you can see how pretty that blend is. And I wrote down it was very easy blending, so that's exciting. Again, oil-based pencils tend to be really good at layering. And you get lots of layers. And so on a good piece of paper like this, I should see some really good blending and layering, and I totally did. And here is step number 3, where we used odorless mineral spirits in the middle as a solvent. Look how pretty that green is that we created. And I remember when I did this step, the green was starting to show way before I even hit it with the odorless mineral spirits. They just really want to layer together and play well together. Okay, again, when I did the crumb test, it was mostly on the heavy burnishing side of pressure is when you see those crumbs appear the most. So doing light layers, there was no crumb issue, but there is a crumb issue in the heavy pressure. And as far as sharpening goes, I used my X-Acto School Pro electric pencil sharpener, and it worked great. They sharpened up beautifully, no problem at all. And like I said, it seems like they wore down slower than expected. Now on the layering test, I got 4 layers of color pencil before I felt like I had to lean in and start doing medium pressure. And then on the 6th layer, I had to do heavy pressure in order to get a difference between the different layers. I'll bring that up so you can see. I got 6 very different layer payoffs right there. So my final thoughts. They feel very similar to Polychromos, so that's exciting. We're always looking for a pencil that we can say feels like Prismacolor or feels like Polychromos, so that if you need to try a pencil in that feeling, you can do it on a budget here with these Ohuhu Halawa color pencils. They're a little more translucent and they're really fun to blend with. Now, one more bonus test was the water solubility. So I did 4 different swatches here of 4 really strong colors, took my wet, just water paintbrush and went over it, I think 10 times per swatch. So let me bring it up and you can see for yourself. Oh, right there. The red moved a tiny bit, but all the others didn't budge at all. So I would say their claim that they are not water soluble is very true. They are they stick in there. Okay, so let me tell you now, I've been in contact with Ohuhu and asked a few of my questions. One is about their light fast. They're claiming that the pencils are light fast, but there was no documentation or no charts to show the light fast information, and they said that it is coming soon. So we don't have a lot of information on that yet. Another thing I asked them about is, do they have any future plans to make a bigger set? Because, you know, me and most of us, when we find a pencil we like, we want more. And they said they're thinking about it. So my guess is they're waiting to see how well these are received, and then if we all love them, they'll probably bring us more. That's the way Ohuhu seems to work with their markers, and I don't see why they wouldn't do anything different with their color pencils. All right, to help us talk about whether I think I'm going to recommend these pencils or not, let's look at the pencil scoring right here. Product packaging, I gave it a 4. It comes in a nice tin. The tin closes well. If this turns into a set that I use a lot, they'll come out of the tin and go into a zip-up case. But for now, I gave it a 4 for really good packaging. If it had come in some really nice canvas case or something, maybe it would have gotten a 5. But 4 is still really good on the packaging. Overall value, I have a question mark there. And the problem is I don't know the cost, the price of these pencils yet. We were offered these pencils before they're even on the website as of the day of filming. So what I'm going to do is, if the prices have come out by the time Steve edits this, I'm going to have the price come up right now, right here on the screen of how much they cost. So I'll have Steve do that. Hopefully the price is out. But I don't know the price, so it's kind of interesting. Usually when I evaluate a set of color pencils, price is a big part of it, because I don't know whether this set is going to land in the high-end section of color pencils like Holbein and Polychromos and Prismacolor and Caran d'Ache. I don't know if they're going to be up in that section or if they're down in the section with Artisto and what were some of the other brands that, anyway, down in the more cheap budget-friendly section. Which section is this in? I don't know, and so it's kind of tricky for me to give a really good recommendation. So overall value, I put a question mark. Pencil design and anatomy. So I really like the design, the 4mm, the oil, the round. I like it except for the small metallic writing. So I would have given it a 5 if it had big, bold, matte writing. Set color balance. What do you think, Steve?
I'd give it a 5.
Okay. We're going to give it a 5 for good balance and good selection of colors. Pencil performance, it did every test. Everything I wanted it to do, it did. And I usually was using words like easy and beautiful and wore down slow, sharpens great. Lots of really good comments here. Crumbs are probably the only thing, but even that wasn't a deal breaker because the crumbs weren't horrendous. They're just there. Okay, so pencil performance, I gave it a 5. Pencil feel and experience, I gave it a 5. Again, it performed really well. This is future Jennifer here popping in with an update on the price for the Halawa Ohuhu color pencils. That way we can actually finish with a good pencil score. And if you can see, we've got it filled in here now. As of February 2025, here in the US on Amazon, the price of the Halawa pencils is $44.99, so that makes it 62 cents per pencil. So we took that. If we're going to compare it, this particular set, to our battle, I've got my binder here from our budget-friendly pencil battle we did last year. None of the pencils in that battle cost more than $29.99. So this set wouldn't have even made it into that battle. But if it had made it into the battle, we wanted to see how it scored. So We already talked about all the other scores, but I decided to give the overall value a 2 because compared to all the other pencils in this battle, it's quite a lot more money, although it's still a good budget-friendly pencil. Especially if you compare it to, say, the Prismacolors, which it would cost $75 for a set of 72 Prismas and $89 for a set of 60 Polychromo pencils. So it's still a good budget pencil. In fact, it's coming in at almost the same price as the Castle Art Gold, which is one of our favorite pencils around here. So if you'd like us to do a head-to-head battle between the Halawa pencils and the Polychromos or the Castle Arts, comment below what battle you think would be awesome for us to do. So I gave it a 2 for overall value, added up our total score, we came in at 25. So if you go in and look at what got first place, last year it was the Artisto pencils, the surprise participant in that battle, and they got 27. So it's not first place, the Ohuhu, but second place was SJ Starjoy, and they got 24. So the Ohuhu pencils would have landed as rank number 2 in this battle, even though the price was so much higher, which is pretty cool.
And even if we had given it, say, a 1 or a 0,
yeah,
like if we're being fair, say a 0, because it wouldn't have been included,
yeah,
then it would be a 23. So I'm curious if you go past the Starjoy.
23. Rank 3 was Color, and they got 24. So these two were tied.
Right.
And then if we go to rank 4 pencil, sorry, I'm a little slow here. There we go. It would have tied with rank 4. So, which were the I Buy 'em color pencils, which had 120 pencils. And it was only $22.24. So you can see, price-wise, like I said, it wouldn't have made it into the battle. These pencils wouldn't have made it in. But if they had, they would have come in at second place or fourth, depending on what we did. It would have been in the top 5 for sure. So that's pretty cool. So congratulations, Halawa and Ohuhu, for making it into the top 5 of last year's battle. Wow, that's a little confusing.
I think, I think the real question here is, because these are claiming to be oil-based.
Right.
And they felt like oil-based, they performed like oil-based, which means, how good of a competitor are they to the Polychromos?
Yeah, so that could be an interesting battle. Let us know if you want us to do that.
Because it sounds like they may be a good budget Polychromos.
Yeah. So my final recommendations now, considering the price, we've got that plugged in, would I recommend the Halawa Colored Pencils to you? I think because they performed so beautifully, I would definitely recommend them. I think they're a really great oil-based color pencil, and it would be really interesting to do a head-to-head battle with Polychromos because they are, half the price of the Polychromos, which is pretty outstanding. If, however, you are on an even tighter budget and $45 seems a little too high to you, then I would send you to the Artisto pencils because they are only $21 as of back in March 2024, and they give you a lot of colors and perform beautifully. However, they are more like a Prismacolor pencil rather than a Polychromos pencil. So would I recommend the Ohuhu Halawa color pencils? Definitely. I think they're worth a purchase and worth checking out. So follow the link in the video description. Again, I want to say thank you to Ohuhu for giving us a chance to try these out. They're going to be available on their website, ohuhu.com, and also on Amazon. We'll put links in the video description so you can go check it out. And if you use the Amazon affiliate link, we get a little kickback here, then it doesn't cost you anything extra for that. So we would appreciate you using our Amazon links. That helps our little business out here. Is there anything else? Oh, I did look up what Halawa means, and it's a valley in Hawaii. That's where that word comes from.
Okay.
And I think I'm pronouncing it right. It's spelt Halawa, And I didn't know if the A's are all pronounced the same or not. And I think what I heard on the video about the valley is that it's pronounced Halawa, with a V instead of a W. So hopefully I got that right. Comment below if you know, maybe you've been to that valley and you can tell me how it is pronounced. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you again to Ohuhu. I'm excited about this new product and excited to see what the pricing is and how it's going to grow and expand as an Ohuhu product. Thanks so much, everyone, and I hope you all have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye. I hope she doesn't. I have a coloring book on the wall back there with a piece of art that I made, and I'm worrying she's going to bump it off. So far, so good. Okay, good.